dan salam sejahtera, salam UiTM di hatiku kepada semua para peserta Festival UiTM Perform 2021 yang dikasihi sekalian. Pada hari ini, kita amat bertuah kerana dapat mengikuti satu lagi program iaitu program Sembang Santai bersama Alumni Undang-Undang. Saya percaya anda semua tidak sabar lagi untuk berkenalan dengan alumni kita pada malam ini. Sebelum kita mulakan, izinkan saya untuk memperkenalkan diri saya. Saya, Puan Sharifah Syatra binti Said Hamid, merupakan Ketua Pusat Pengajian Asasi Undang-Undang di Pusat Asasi UiTM selaku moderator anda pada sesi hari ini. Sebelum kita meneruskan, saya meminta kerjasama anda semua untuk sama-sama kita war-warkan program kita pada malam ini dengan menggunakan tanda pagar ataupun hashtag UiTM Perform 2021 dan hashtag UiTM First. Baiklah, untuk tidak melengahkan masa lagi, izinkan saya untuk memperkenalkan alumni kita pada malam ini. Okay, kita sangat bertuah kerana malam ini kita dapat bersama-sama dengan alumni yang sangat berdedikasi dan masih lagi kita kata sudi untuk bersama kita pada malam ini. Saya perkenalkan yang pertama, kita ada Puan Dania Ahmad, ya, merupakan seorang partner daripada Tuklin and Book. Right? Apa khabar Puan Dania?
Alhamdulillah sihat.
Okey, sihat. Terima kasih Puan Dania kerana sudi bersama kami pada malam ini. Seterusnya, kita ada seorang jejaka tampan lagi memikat iaitu saudara Muhammad Amanullah Muhammad Rashidi. Beliau merupakan pelajar semester kedua, tahun kedua untuk program ijazah sarjana muda Undang-Undang. Apa khabar Aman?
Alhamdulillah, terima kasih.
Okay, terima kasih Aman kerana sudi bersama kita pada malam ini. Baiklah, untuk tidak melengahkan masa lagi, kita mulakan program kita pada malam ini ya. Untuk sesi pertama ini, saya akan bertanyakan beberapa soalan, mungkin satu ataupun dua soalan kepada panel kita ataupun kepada alumni kita pada malam ini. Dan kemudian kita akan buka kepada sesi soal jawab daripada penonton kita ataupun yang menonton siaran kita ini secara langsung daripada YouTube Pusat Asasi. Okey, kita ada masa lebih kurang dalam 1 jam ataupun 1 jam setengah. Jadi kita cubalah untuk berikan seberapa banyak informasi kepada pelajar-pelajar yang mungkin berminat. Okey, yang rasa sangat berkobar-kobar kita katakan untuk menyambungkan pengajian dia di Fakulti Undang-Undang Universiti Teknologi Mara. Baik, saya mulakan dengan Puan Dania dulu. Dania?
Ya, saya.
Okey Dania, untuk permulaan ni boleh tak Dania ceritakan sedikit kepada kita punya pendengar kan, latar belakang Dania ni sebenarnya. Orang mesti macam excited ni nak tahu siapa Dania ni sebenarnya kan. Boleh Dania?
Boleh Puan.
Okey. Okay.
Pertama sekali terima kasih kepada pihak penganjur lah UiTM kerana sudi jemput saya. Dan sesungguhnya saya memang sangat berbangga lah sebab sekurang-kurangnya saya dapatlah bagi sedikit macam orang kata insights, especially kepada student-student Asasi untuk dapat tahu lebih information berkenaan dengan program yang memang UiTM sedang tawarkan lah, yang khususnya untuk berkenaan dengan undang-undang. So saya memangnya produk UiTM. So saya first kali saya start dengan saya punya pre-law di UiTM Merbuk, dan selepas tu saya sambung dengan BLS pengajian undang-undang, dan seterusnya dengan Bachelor of Laws LLB, and lepas tamat saya punya LLB tu saya terus sambung pula dengan DLSA dengan UiTM. So memang totally produk UiTM 100%. So sekarang ni saya bekerja sebagai pengamal undang-undang, legal practitioner di Shuklin and Book, and saya bidang pengkhususan saya ialah technically undang-undang persaingan, competition law, and also regulatory compliance. So itulah sebersikit.
Dah berapa lama tu berada dalam bidang apa kita kata competitive law ni?
Competition law.
Competition law, yes.
Okay, technically saya started off, saya jadi PTD dulu. After saya graduated, so saya jadi PTD officer. And saya memang Allah dah lorongkan jalan tu gamanya. Masa saya berkhidmat sebagai PTD di Kementerian Perdagangan Dalam Negeri, I was part of the drafting team of the Competition Act 2010.
Okay.
So selepas tu saya buat saya punya syamring di Raja Darul and Law. And lepas tu saya masuk Suruhanjaya Persaingan. Masa tu kita baru je set up Suruhanjaya Persaingan. Saya di Suruhanjaya Persaingan lebih kurang 6 tahun. And saya berhijrah ke Brunei ikut husband saya. Dan balik ke Malaysia, saya masuk Shukri dan Hope untuk practice competition law.
Wow, menarik banyak pengalaman ni Puan Dania ni. Mungkin adik-adik di Asasi ni lepas ni bolehlah berhubung dengan Puan Dania untuk mengetahui kan. Dalam ni mungkin ramai yang macam nak tahu apa competition law tu, apa kerja PTD kan. Ya. Okey, seterusnya terima kasih Dania. Okey, seterusnya kita beralih kepada jejaki Dharma Melaya kita. Aman. Okay, Aman. Boleh Aman ceritakan sedikit tak tentang your background lah kepada adik-adik Asasi ataupun mungkin juga kepada parents yang sedang menonton kita di YouTube sekarang ni. Sila Aman.
Terima kasih Madam Syatra. Tapi sebelum saya mula, boleh tak izinkan saya cakap dalam English sebab
okey, boleh. Kita kan sembang santai. As long as bahasa tu dipahami boleh. Jangan cakap bahasa Urdu pula kan, susah dia orang nak faham nanti. Okey, silakan. Yes.
Alright. Thank you very much Madam Syatra. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to everyone. My name is Muhammad Aminullah bin Muhammad Rashidi, but everyone you guys could call me Aman. So a little bit backstory about myself is that I started off my foundation for law in PUSAT Asasi DENGKIL. Yeah, so I'm an alumni of PUSAT Asasi UiTM DENGKIL. I've been studying there for approximately 2 semesters between the years of 2018 and 2019. And first and foremost, after I've completed SPM, I actually never had the intention or had the dream to pursue law, because before I applied for UPU and the time that I finished and completed my SPMs, I thought that I actually wanted to pursue and take perhaps history, or even take English like TESOL, or even perhaps take architecture, because I'm the type of person who loves to draw. I'm the person who is very passionate about writing articles and stories. So I felt that was part of me. But in the end, the person who actually filed and filled my UPU applications were my parents, because during that time, I was still confused on what I wanted to do with my future. So I actually allowed my parents to I had a discussion with my parents, and I finally they evaluated me, and I felt that they understood my capabilities and my weaknesses. So me and my parents had a lengthy discussion about what I wanted to pursue and take after SPM. So it was decided that I should take law, and the moment that I took law, I felt really I was really amazed. I was enthused about learning law, because studying law gives you a larger view of the world in many ways, legally speaking. It gives you different perspectives and views on certain issues and matters that's occurring around the world. So from there on, I felt like I knew what was going to happen in my life. I tried to plan out what I'm going to do in life. And I felt like going for a legal practice is one of the things that I believe and feel like I should take as part of my roots in life. So from there on, I went and entered into UiTM DENKIL. I've been studying there for 2 semesters. And afterwards, I continued and entered into UiTM Shah Alam. because for my UPU application, I was UiTM law, not KPTM law. And from there on, I entered degree and I've continued studying law ever since now. And currently I am in my second year. So that's a little bit of the backstory of my life currently. And I'm in my second year.
Okay, thank you, Aman. All right. I would like to go back to Puan Dania. Dania, Puan adalah daripada Asasi Merbuk kan, UiTM lah. Setahu saya kalau UiTM di Merbuk tu adalah UiTM. Untuk pengetahuan penonton semua, Asasi Undang-Undang ni sebenarnya ada dua program ya. Okey, satu adalah UiTM dan satu adalah KPTM. Jadi UiTM sebenarnya kita cater untuk ijazah sarjana muda untuk UiTM. Okey, dan KPTM tu adalah untuk kita cater kepada mana-mana universiti awam di Malaysia lah. Okey, dan masa Dania menjalani pengajian asasi undang-undang di Merbuk tu ya.
Ya.
Pernah tak macam rasa ataupun saya nak tahu kenapa sebenarnya memilih undang-undang? Sebab pada masa Dania, betul kan kalau saya silap ya, pada waktu tu kalau anda adalah asasi undang-undang, anda akan sambung undang-undang juga in the end. Kan? Betul kan saya kalau salah? Betul okay? Jadi pada waktu tu kan, apa sebenarnya, macam kalau kita tengok Ahmad tadi, dia kata macam masa dia masuk asasi law tu dia tak nak sangat buat asasi law. Okay, tapi Dania, apa sebenarnya faktor yang macam mendorong Dania untuk buat law?
Frankly speaking, memang I've always wanted to do law pun. Tapi that was my ambition since daripada kecil-kecil. And kebetulan abang saya pun memang pelajar undang-undang UiTM juga. Tapi what happened was saya dapat pre-law di Merbuk, tapi abang saya dapat pre-law di Shah Alam masa tu. Tapi that has always been something yang memang I nak buat lah, undang-undang. So it was an easy call. Masa saya fill up saya punya borang UPU tu, memang saya first choice, second choice pun memang letak undang-undang. So memang saya dah set, saya memang nak ambil law lah as my choice, as my first choice, yes.
Okey, kalau macam tu boleh tak kalau saya katakan begini, saya suggest pada Dania macam ni lah, pada waktu tu dah rasa macam darah undang-undang tu dah mengalir dalam badan lah. Macam tu ke?
Boleh lah dikatakan macam tu. Memang because masa kalau orang tanya saya masa saya kecil-kecil pun memang itulah saya punya cita-cita, nak jadi peguam. But of course back then I was a bit naive lah sebab
okey. Okey Dania, masa Dania tadi Dania kata macam Dania nak sambung, memang pilihan pertama dan kedua tu adalah undang-undang kan. Kalau boleh saya tahulah apa yang menyebabkan macam UiTM tu menjadi pilihan? Kenapa mesti macam UiTM di hatiku? Macam tu pada waktu tu.
Maybe because saya ada exposure, because abang saya memang study UiTM, ambil jurusan yang sama. Jadi technically saya tahu dari segi generalnya law students yang graduated from UiTM memang more marketable as far as I'm concerned lah. And then of course in terms of legal syllabus yang di-offer di faculty law UiTM, technically dia very tailored to our legal, I would say legal path lah. I mean it's quite easy untuk kalau siapa-siapa nak practice, dan technically it's quite easy untuk you nak apply because those are the subjects yang memang you dah di-exposekan masa you tengah study. And another thing yang memang menyebabkan I'm very interested to get into UiTM sebab I know that masa saya tak tahu sekarang ni ada lagi ke tak program LLB tu, tapi masa saya lepas tamat BLS, then we have to take LLB untuk kita nak practice kan, baru kita boleh buat pupillage and then be admitted to the bar. So sepaham saya LLB punya course tu walaupun dia 1 year and it was very hectic for me, very crowded, kelas daripada pagi sampai ke malam, but it was a very very good exposure. sebab technically what we do memang practical. And saya rasa memang very useful lah, sebab tu saya memang very inclined towards having getting into UiTM from the very beginning lah, masa saya apply untuk jurusan undang-undang.
Okey Dadia. Okey, sebelum kita meneruskan kepada soalan kepada Aman, saya nak ingatkan kepada ataupun saya nak mewawarkan kepada semua yang menonton pada waktu ini, anda boleh bertanyakan soalan kepada panel kita ataupun kepada alumni kita pada hari ini ya. Boleh bertanyakan soalan tu dengan meletakkannya di kita punya chat box tu, okey? Nanti pihak admin akan bacakan ataupun pilihlah soalan anda tu kalau anda bertuah. So Aman, back to you. Right, so you mentioned just now at first you don't have the intention to pursue in law, right? So what makes you think that and then your course is actually macam you dah tahu dah law, Asasi law in your batch tu, you know, tak semestinya you boleh buat law. Okay, it is different from Dania. Dania dia dah masuk Asasi law, dia dah tahu dah dia akan buat law. But your situation is different, in which you know that you have to somehow score certain CGPA, alright, and achieve certain band for MUET and everything, right? But in the end, at first you said that law is not your first choice. Why is that in the end you choose degree law?
Thank you, Madam Chatra, for the question. The decision for me to take law in the end, because yet again, I back then I was a kid. When I was 17 or 18, I couldn't really see what I actually wanted to do with my life. So during that time, I had a lot of ambitions. I had a lot of dreams back then. I thought that there were like many possibilities in the future, because in life, in the future, there are so many variables. There are so many decisions and paths that a person could take or choose. So among those many variables, I thought that maybe having a discussion and talking with my parents, maybe from there I could see and determine what I wanted to do in life. So because again, I would like to reiterate, when I had a discussion with my parents, I think that my parents saw some of the potentials in me, because I think that in law, when we talk about law, back in school, when I was in high school, I was quite active in debating and public speaking. And simultaneously, I've been involved in a lot of writing and storytelling competitions, like writing short stories and short stories. So from there, combining and amalgamating these skills and talents together, my parents thought that with these fusion of skills, I'm a person who is capable of pursuing law, because during that time, if a person were to take law, a legal profession requires those talents and skills, because you need debating and persuasion skills when you enter court in order to have the bench or judge in favor of you to enable them to give a verdict for your clients and for your counsel. And you need to have that writing skill. You need to have that writing and journalism skill in order for you to write and present your opinions and present your arguments. Because if I'm not mistaken, when you enter court, then there's going to be a lot of documents, like very, very thick documents. And you need to have that language and linguistic skill in order for you to understand legal jargons and legal terms. So from those skills, with my discussion with my parents, they evaluated me, they know my potential. So with those skills, I thought that it is indeed suitable for me in order for me to pursue law. And I think that my future is more clear now, because now I think I'm on my track in order to become a person or a member of the legal practice, maybe become a lawyer, a solicitor, or an advocate, or even an advisor in any company in legal fields. So I think that is very interesting. And apart from that, yes, indeed, I'm a person who is really interested in history and current issues. So a person who studies law needs to know a lot of things in life, in various perspectives and viewpoints. Because maturity, having a debate and discussing and sharing your thoughts and ideas is, I think, among the attributes of a law student and a future legal practitioner. So yet again, I decided to take law in the end because I believe that I have the skills and potential in order to pursue law. And I am very grateful, and I feel like I'm on my track to go somewhere in the future. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Arman. Does it mean that in the end you find out that law degree is actually the course that suit you well?
Yes. Yeah, yes, because yet again, as of now, I do admit that studying law for some people, even sometimes for me, sometimes it's very difficult. It's very stressful, but I think that nothing in this world is easy. The only way for you to go around you have to mantle over the obstacles. You have to go through the challenges of life, because nothing in the world is easy, and we have to admit that nothing in the world is easy, and there will always be trials and tribulations that we will face in life. So I think that this is a challenge, and so far I'm able to cope with it, and I believe that I still have the momentum, I still have the ability and what it takes to study law, despite it being difficult as of now.
All right. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, both of you are Asasi UiTM, right? Aman, are you UiTM?
Yes.
You were UiTM. All right.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Right, sebelum saya teruskan kepada Dania, saya nak ingatkan kepada penonton kita ataupun yang mengikuti kita punya program alumni ini, jangan lupa untuk hashtag UiTM Perform 2021 dan hashtag UiTM First. Jadikan hashtag kita ni trending, lebih trending daripada juara lagu pada malam ini. Okey Dania. Sebagai kalau boleh Dania kita kata imbau balik kenangan dulu kan, kenangan silam tu, kenangan manis kau dan aku, macam tu kan. Kalau Dania boleh imbau balik waktu Dania sambung ataupun meneruskan pengajian di degree dulu kan, sebab Dania punya program macam dulu lain sikit kan, kita ada BLS kemudian di LLB. Macam Aman dia straight terus 4 tahun kita dah buat macam tu kan. Jadi boleh tak macam Dania share sikit experience Dania lah masa belajar, ada beza tak BLS dengan LLB?
Oh, of course. Beza dia technically, memang ada very big difference lah, because BLS technically kelas yang biasa. You have your lectures and then of course ada tutorials semua tu. Tapi bila LLB memang it's a totally different ball game bagi saya lah. Sebab by the time you clock in, kalau tak silap saya masa tu pukul 8 kot, 7.30 ke pukul 8 you clock in masa tu sampai tengah malam pun kadang-kadang tak balik. So and memang benda tu jadi memang on I would say on daily basis lah, on a daily basis memang kita akan stay dalam kita punya firm, because we have our own mini firms kan within the class tu. So memang build relationships dengan kawan-kawan semua, memang jadi lagi rapat. And then of course because we spend most of your time dekat kelas daripada pagi sampai tengah malam, so you memang just fokus untuk nak belajar lah. And saya rasa masa BLS it was more on theory, kita baca buku, and then kita jawab exam, ada test in between semua tu. Tapi bila when it comes to LLB, dia memang kita ada banyak coursework. So every lecturer yang masuk akan cakap kata, okay, for conveyancing, this will be your file, and then you have to complete your file lah. So as a firm, kita ada a few firm members, and then kita kena, technically we work like a firm. we work like a firm with a few partners, and then macam orang kerja. So bila kita enter into the real legal punya environment dekat luar, when you practice law, dia macam, of course memang bila practice tu you'll be more challenging sebab you have to be accountable kan, because now you are acting for a real client. Tapi the transitional period tu it wasn't too bad lah sebab you dah ada a little bit of exposure masa you buat LLB kan. So I think memang there was a big difference between BLS and also LLB sebab LLB tu I think it was really useful, and I think most of my friends memang semua agree yang LLB tu really prep us untuk jadi yang lebih baik lah.
Okay, terima kasih Dania. Okay Aman, my question to you, okay? So you just actually finished Asasi in 2019, isn't it?
Well, I entered in 2018.
All right, so you finished Asasi 2019.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I just want to know, is there any difference between study law in Asasi and so study law in degree?
All right, thank you for your question, Madam Shatra. There's a distinction between studying law in foundation and degree. And we can really see the difference is really clear. And first and foremost, I think that the how do I say this, the general gist of why we have foundation is as a way for us to prepare to enter university life in degree. So foundation is a slight level above SPM or high school. So there will be some assistance. There's going to be more, how do I say this? The lecturers will help you more, I think, because in foundation, we have modules. So these modules, the lecturers will compile them together. The lecturers will collaborate with each other and they will issue these modules every semester. So as law students, we don't actually have to pay a lot of money, really expensive books. Instead, we just pay for the modules that the lecturers provide for us, and it's been really helpful. However, for when you enter into degree life, you have to buy your own books. You have to search for books in actual bookstores. So these law books usually cost like 3 digits, like 100 ringgit to 100 ringgit, even it reaches like 500 ringgit. So that's like a really huge financial burden onto law students in degree life. So I think that's one of the main difference. I think also in foundation, we students, law students, and in general throughout the whole campus in DENGKIL, we kind of like we are in, like, how do I say this? It's the whole area in foundation is a smaller area, because when you have that's kind of like a smaller area, you have people and individuals coming together more closely. However, for like degree, I think everyone's very independent. Everyone kind of like minds your own business. There, I don't admit that there aren't any group like work or something, but most of the time, if we were to compare between foundation and degree, I think that in degree people are more independent, because in degree life we need to, that's the point of life that we are embarking onto adult life, and in foundation we are kind of like in between our teenagers and adult life. So I think I feel like foundation is still a preparation before we enter degree life. So apart from that, apart from the books, apart from living an independent life, I also have to admit in terms of finance, because I think in foundation Asasi, I think for certain students, I think the food are subsidized, I think. So everything in foundation is slightly cheaper, inclusive of the books. But then when you enter degree life is like, it's not like foundation, like it's not like Asasi, because Asasi it feels, I think Asasi DENGKIL it feels very organized, it feels very systematic. But when you enter degree, inshallah, it's literally inside a huge city. So it's going to be a higher cost of living. You have to find your own accommodation. You have to rent apartments. But in foundation, you already have your own college provided for you, and everyone equally has your own room or apartment. But again, in degree life, you have to search for your own apartment. You have to search for your own, maybe share a terrace or something. So in terms of finance, in terms of independence, and in terms of book materials, and in terms of how we actually live an adult life. So I think those are the three main things that's kind of different in comparison.
Okay, Ahmad. Okay, I have another question to you, Ahmad. When you mentioned about being independent, all right, with regards to the modules and everything, okay, you have to work on your own. So some of those students, okay, I do. And I believe that you still actually remember that during Asasi, you have 2 semesters, okay? And then the first semester you are in this particular group, and then the next semester you'll be in another group with another new what we call new classmates, right? And then during that time, okay, some of the students might say that saya tak nak apa, I don't want to be apart from my friend. Okay, we just want to be in the same group. Whether okay, it will actually somehow give impact upon our emotion. Blah 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 blah. I do not know whether you still remember that kind of thing. Okay, so do you think that having this kind of reshuffling the class, okay, somehow help you in actually finding yourself maybe, or finding a new environment maybe?
In those regards, yes, I kind of feel that back then. I still do remember, because back then, in semester 1, when we transition into the second semester, we have to reshuffle and we have new classmates. And I think that's one of the reasons to why I think that foundation is where people feel more closer to each other. We kind of rely on each other. But then when we enter degree life, everyone's independent. And if you were to refer to degree life, you need to arrange your own classes. You won't be in the same class again from semester 1 until semester 8 in degree. So whether or not, even if you're in foundation, you feel like you want to be in the same group with the same people from Sem 1 until Sem 2, I think we are going to face the harsh reality in degree life that we don't have any choice, but we are still going to meet a lot of new people every semester in degree life. So I think that maybe back then, it's like maybe in foundation, some people don't really like reshuffling, but in my personal opinion, I think that even though we reshuffle class in foundation, we still get the chance to meet them anyways, because foundation, Asasi, DENGKIL, right? It's a very small area, so you can just go outside your door and knock on another person's door in the same block, or you just walk a few distances to another block. For example, to Alang 1, you just walk all the way to Alang 3. But in degree life, every semester you will meet different people, and it's going to be impossible for you to knock on another person's door, because everyone are renting their own apartment everywhere, scattered all the way in Sha'alam, everywhere in Sha'alam. So whether or not, I think that reshuffling in foundation is a good way to prepare us to be more independent when we enter into degree life.
Okay, Awan, thank you very much. Dania. Okay, Dania daripada UiTM Merbuk kan sebelum ni kan, Asasi di UiTM Merbuk. Okay, masa zaman Dania ya, untuk pengetahuan semua, masa zaman Dania ada 3 tempat yang menawarkan program Asasi Undang-Undang. Okay, di UiTM Shah Alam, right, di UiTM Merbuk dan di UiTM Kuantan. Kuantan tu saya lah dulu. Okay, jadi masa Dania dekat Merbuk mungkin ada dalam 200-300 orang pada waktu tu mungkin. Your batch kan? Lebih kurang kan?
Kita pioneer batch.
Oh, okay.
We were the first one. Yeah.
2003
2002 actually.
Oh, alright. So you finished your Asasi in 2003 lah.
Yes, correct.
Alright. Okay. During that time, I don't think that masa tu
Kuantan belum ada.
Kuantan belum ada. Kuantan dia adik bongsu.
I lagi tua. I dah zaman dinosaur sikit dalam.
Tapi tak nampak tua Dania, tak nampak tua. You don't have to worry kan. I macam bila Mardiah kata, Puan Dania kata, Puan ke kan. Tak sangka pula ada nampak anak lari kat belakang tadi tu. Okay.
Itulah story.
Okay, biasalah Okay, kata pun santai kan. Okay Dania, soalan saya adalah bila daripada merbuk kan, kita dah macam Aman cakap tadi, you dah biasa dengan kawan you, macam Aman punya dia ramai sikit lah sebab kita dah centerkan dalam satu tempat kan dekat DENGKIL ni. So masa zaman you dulu, bila macam you sambung degree dekat sambung degree dekat Shah Alam tu, ada tak macam culture shock kan? Dah biasa duk hampi mana tiba-tiba nak duk cakap KL pula kan. Kan macam mana Dania? Okay.
Of course masa kita sampai dekat Shah Alam tu memang suddenly the number becomes bigger lah. You know, macam tiba-tiba daripada from 200 students dalam satu batch tu, tiba-tiba dia jadi macam double. Because dekat Shah Alam pun macam yang tadi Puan cakap, memang dah ada pre-law punya students. So kita merge lah. So everyone dah di-merge kan, and then we have quite a number of classes. Dan memang adalah sedikit culture shock tu, because in Merbuk everyone was like closer. We are like family. Bila apa-apa, kalau ada events dekat Merbuk ke apa-apa, pre-law, then you know all of us we will come together as a family. Tapi bila dekat Shah Alam, I think I can relate apa yang Aman was explaining just now. Semua orang memang they mind their own business lah. So you go to class and then you go back if you have tutorial classes, and then you join, but then or else kalau masa tu kita lepak dekat Hakim. Sebab dekat session 7 right, kita lepak dekat Hakim. Sebab technically macam the family became bigger. So of course macam you have your own clique, your own friends, and you just stick with your friends lah. So you won't really like mingle around dengan orang-orang yang you tak masuk, because technically memang that's how it is lah. I think naturally kita dah ada kita punya group. And memang it was a bit shocking at first, tapi after a while I think especially when we entered into LLB, then we became closer again, because semua orang akan spend more time together and we have to rely on each other. Cumanya I think I sebenarnya I rasa macam bila I dengar cerita Aman tadi, I felt like macam oh my god, macam rasa macam tua sangat, sebab he was like explaining dia punya students life kan. I rasa macam wah, dah lama sangat I tinggalkan zaman-zaman tu. But then I think yelah, because I mean everyone was like concerned about reshuffling classes kan. Tapi bila you dah kerja, you start to kerja, sebenarnya the world is way larger, you know, like when I first dapat my kerja dekat PTD, just imagine I just graduated, I tak buat privilege pun, I terus jadi a PTD officer. I had to present before KSU, Ketua Jabatan. I had to macam catat minit dengan menteri, you know. So actually memang it was a totally different punya setting, you know, daripada just masa UiTM, you know, you macam budak-budak ramai kan. Tapi bila you kerja, memang dunia luar tu sebenarnya lebih luar lah, lebih besar, lebih different perspective altogether. So memang akan terkejut, tapi I think that's how life is, you know. The only thing yang constant will be change lah. So you have to adopt and also adapt with the changes supaya you become more resilient lah kot, I suppose. Sebab memang that's how it is lah. Naturally you akan jumpa benda-benda baru, orang-orang baru, dan kita tengok macam mana you can actually macam boleh bertahan kan.
Alright, thank you Dania. Okay Aman, we have a question from our viewers. Okay, so this question is meant for you. Okay, they want to ask you about interview, right? So during Dania punya time tak ada interview. Ada interview ke Dania?
Interview macam mana ya?
Interview nak masuk degree? Interview nak masuk degree tak ada kan?
Tak ada. Kita
tak ada. Dia memang Dania punya masa tu dia memang saluran khas tau. Memang kau masuk Asasi, kau confirm kau buat law macam tu lah.
Yeah.
So Aman punya batch ni dia lain sikit. Okay, the question for you Aman Many question asking about the interview to admit UiTM main campus. Okay, what kind of question you get? And what is the experience during the interview session too?
All right. From what I experienced when I wanted to take the interview, I think like
Aman,
yeah.
I think you might actually share certain tips also with them.
Okay, sure.
All right.
I'll try this. All right. So during the time when I wanted to go for my interview, before we are supposed to go for our interview, we have to fill in this UiTM website, I think. So at the UiTM website, we have to fill in according to the ranking. Like number one, we want to take law. Maybe number two, we want to take I think the language course. There's like so many options. We can like choose ranking, and then the number one, they will like prioritize the number one ranking. So so that's like the first thing that we had to do was that we had to rank what course we wanted to take after we finished foundation. And when we rank that, they will look at our CGPA. So if I'm not mistaken, the only the requirements that if we want to pursue UiTM degree is that I think it was a CGPA of 3.00 at least. So during that time, after filling in the ranking and then after finishing my foundation, you will receive the notification on the website again. So you really need to really check about your status. So I think I think like maybe if I think every batch has their own WhatsApp group. So for me, I didn't really check. I just waited for anyone to make it like bising in the WhatsApp group. So when I saw that the group was like there's so many texts, I opened it, and then everyone said that the results came out for which ranking or which course you got. So I opened up and then I checked the results on the website, and yeah, I successfully got an interview for a law degree. And there are some people who got other than law because maybe for their second choice, maybe their second ranking is the one that materialized. Maybe the number one ranking was law, but maybe because of other factors or reasons, their second ranking was the one that played a major role. Maybe I think maybe most students got like social sciences, like prepared them to work for the government. But then after I got my the interview, I went to UiTM Shalam. I can't remember what day was it, but it was in the morning. There was like everyone was placed according to a day. So so among 250 students, there's going to be I think maybe 3 or 4 days. The first day is going to be like the first wave, I think. So among the 250, maybe 50, I don't know, maybe like 1/4 of the students go on the first day. There is the morning session and the afternoon session for the interview. I can't remember which day I went, but I think I went for the morning session. And yeah, I prepped up. I wore my suit and stuff. I combed my hair. So I went into the car and was really nervous. I was like thinking, am I making the right decision in my life? Like, and then so as I was in the car, I got to Sha'alam, and then I walked up the steep stairs. So because when you go to the law faculty, there's this really steep stair, and then there's like this clock tower in the middle. So it felt kind of like almost similar to those universities, like those law universities you see outside. So there was like really steep stairs and a clock tower in the middle. It was something almost like that. So I walked up the steep stairs and I went into that main building, and then inside the building there was like two floors. So my interview room was on the first floor. So when it was my first so during that time every student were sitting outside the interview room in a very long there were so many chairs outside. So when we sat there, I saw everyone taking out your Asasi modules. They were reading it. They were looking at their old notes, and they were like saying, "Oh, they were like saying, I regret for not remembering what Madam told me and stuff like that." So So everyone was like doing a quiz with each other. So what section was it? What case was it? And we were like quizzing each other before they enter into the interview room. And everyone was like really nervous. Everyone was really scared for the interview. So when it came to my turn, I went there with another 3 people. So once we were inside the room, there were 3 interviewers. So I was the third person. They were to ask the questions, and um, I'm not sure. Like the questions change according to new intakes. Maybe the questions will be different next semester. I'm not sure, but the questions that I got were like I think they gave me like 4 or 5 questions. So the first question they asked about law stuff. Like I got the easiest question. They asked what was the hierarchy of the courts, but then other people they asked really difficult questions about what we've learned in Asasi. Maybe they asked about what is the section in contract law, or what is this tort law. But until me, I was so lucky that I got a really easy question. I think I was really lucky back then. And then yeah, so the first question was they asked me about what I've learned, like the legal stuff, the law stuff. And then secondly, they asked me about my opinion about the current issues or what's happening around the world. So the question I got was like, what do I think about disciplining your children with with how do I say this, with hurt, I guess. They asked me what's my opinion about caning your children. So that was another question I got. Every person had different opinions and views about caning your children and how you to discipline your child. And then I think lastly, I think it wasn't 5 questions. I think I only remembered these 3 questions. The last question I got was like, if I were to become an animal, what animal I wanted to be. So that was like a question like it was unexpected. It was so kind of random. Like, why did they want to ask what type of animal I wanted to be?
Yeah. Yeah, Ahmad. I
So,
still remember Madam Jus also told me the same. And Madam Fazli also said that, hey, I have one student, in my room, Aman, and I asked him this question. I was like, what kind of question you ask him? Okay, I will. Aman, continue.
all right. Oh, and I was actually I was really embarrassed that you guys knew that I wasn't the one being asked the question. I was until this day I like remember like oh my goodness, all my lecturers in Asasi knew about that question. So really silly, but the question I got, but the way I answered was like the animal that I wanted to be was a dinosaur, and then all the lecturers are looking at each other like they were really confused, like why I wanted to become a dinosaur. Everyone else like said they want to be a cat, they wanted to be a bird or something, but for some reason I answered a dinosaur. I didn't know. I was like really nervous. Like it just popped up in my head to say dinosaur. So they asked me why I wanted to become dinosaur. So I just like said that I wanted to become a dinosaur because there are so many types of dinosaurs. There's the Stegosaurus, there's the pterodactyl. Because I think that these dinosaurs back in the days, like the Jurassic days, the Cretaceous days, there are certain dinosaurs that live in a group of people, a pack. And there are certain dinosaurs which can fly. So these dinosaurs that can fly are types of dinosaurs that travel the world, that see the world in a very different perspective and way. So after I took the interview and when I just reminisced that question about why I wanted to become a dinosaur, I think the reason why they asked me that question was because they wanted to know my personality, I think. So I thought like maybe that was the reason why they asked me why I wanted to become that animal. So maybe that from there they knew that I'm a type of person that likes to cooperate and meet new people, like to try and venture into the unknown, into the abyss, and try to grapple myself out of problems and troubles and difficulties in life that you will never know will come into your life. So I think those are the 3 questions, but I don't know what questions they will ask in the future because I think the questions will change every new intake. So I think for the most part, I think they will definitely ask about the law stuff that you've done in Asasi. And secondly, I think they will definitely ask about current issues. But for the animal thing, I think for other students, after the interview, I asked other students what question they got. The interviewers asked what kind of law movie they like to watch. They asked about your hobbies, I think. So yeah, I think those two questions will definitely be asked. But I'm not sure about the third question. Will they ask any random questions or not in the near future? So those are the questions that I got.
Oh, okay. Well, very interesting. Maybe because of your answer just now, right, with regards to dinosaur, you've been admitted to the faculty.
I don't know. I was really shocked.
But that is amazing the way you actually explaining about why actually you choose dinosaur, right? I think dinosaur suit you well. Okay, Aman.
Yeah, I look
Another
like
question.
dinosaurs.
But which dinosaur suit you well? Okay, Aman.
I said the pterodactyl, the one that can fly,
Oh, I know. All right.
and the stegosaurus.
I thought so. All right. What would be the I want to ask you about the tips. Okay. What need to be or what is the preparation? All right, for the students that are listening to you right now. Okay. There's any tips or what is the preparation for the interview? Do you think that the subject that they learned in Asasi is something which is important for them to like what your friends are squeezing around and whatever it is? What do you think?
For that question, I think it's really imperative. It's really important for us to understand and remember what we're taught in foundation. Because yet again, I'd like to reiterate that what we learn in foundation and foundation in general is a preparation to enter into degree life. Foundation is all about preparing yourself to enter into tertiary education and to prepare yourself to enter into adult life. So I think that we should not neglect what we've taught and what we've learned in foundation, because what we learn in foundation will be taught again in semester 1 and semester 2. So when we enter into semester 1 and semester 2 in degree, we won't be confused or we won't be perplexed about about what we are about to learn. However, this is slightly different for STPM and matriculation students because they never learned law in matriculations and STPM, but we as law foundation students, we already learned about it in foundation already. So when we enter into semester 1 and semester 2, we are already equipped about the law that we've learned, and it's slightly easier for us to answer our exam. So first and foremost, remember what we've learned in foundation, because they will ask questions about what we've learned during the interview. Like what I got the hierarchy of courts. There are students who got what are the jurisdiction of the magistrate court. So that's number one. Secondly, don't forget to put all of your CGPA, all of your curricular certificates, your resume inside like a folder, because you need to bring it during the interview. So during the interview, make sure that you have your file with your CGPA and all the related documents to show the interviewers your qualifications. And thirdly, it's based on your attire. So for guys, just the simple things like just wear a suit and a tie, a white shirt, black and white. But for the girls, I think I asked the girls about what they should wear. I think they can. I think the girls I asked they can wear the makeup, but not too much. I think they said, and then they can wear either the long skirt or pants, and then make sure to wear the blazer as well, and then the white blouse shirt, I think. So yeah, that's the attire that they need to follow, and I guess that's about it. I think and make sure to come early as possible, because you don't want to miss out the interview. Or not, you have to write a letter to join the interview on a later date, and chances are, and the risk that you might have to enter the next intake if you're very late, you're too late. So I think those are the tips to prepare for the law interview.
Alright, thank you Aman for sharing with us the tips. Okay, so Dania. Alright, ada soalan untuk Dania ni. Okay, Dania dah buat people age dah lama dah kan buat chambering. Alright, jadi ramai student kita ni nak tahulah ada tak tips untuk chambering ni. Ada orang kata chambering tu anda akan melalui 9 bulan yang sengsara. Hidup anda ada sengsara lah. Itulah kehidupan yang paling sengsara dalam kehidupan seorang lawyer katanya. Right, jadi kita nak tahu daripada Dania sendiri yang dah melalui proses chambering tu kan, pelatih dalam kamar tu. Boleh Dania?
Okay, thank you Puan. Well, bagi saya chambering period ni is actually a very crucial period lah. Not just because itu basically a requirement untuk you diadmitkan sebagai advocate solicitor, tapi sebenarnya is actually a preparation punya period untuk equip you untuk jadi seorang lawyer. Of course, I've heard stories kalau you jadi pupil in big firms ada this kind of treatment, tapi kalau you go to a smaller firm, basically you have to do semua benda lah, even up to an extent buat copy, buat bundling, buat photocopying and everything. But I think it's actually I would say it's a very good exercise lah. Because kalau macam based on my experience about I di Shukri dan Bok, we would be considered as quite a large firm, a sizable firm lah. Of course kita punya staff yang akan tolong untuk prep certain benda, tapi at times kadang-kadang due to the agency of the matter, you kena buat sendiri, you kena turun padang. So kalau you memang tak biasa, then it's going to be quite difficult untuk you. Tapi masa pupillage tu, what I would suggest, walaupun it can be quite bad and quite torturous, sebenarnya dia more to just nak bagi you belajar. Okay? Kalau you are in a big firm, bukan firm yang specializing in certain areas, because normally for big firms you full service kan, try out as many practice areas as you can. You can try and do competition law, you can try and do litigation. Because to me, masa I nak start buat pupillage tu, I was very naive. So I ingatkan, okay, kalau you jadi lawyer, you pergi court, that's the generalization yang semua orang ada. But actually, you can do a lot more. You can practice in many other practice areas. Actually within litigation tu sebenarnya ada banyak specialization. Ada orang memang just focus purely on criminal, ada orang buat civil, ada orang just buat labour and employment, ada orang just buat running down, ada orang buat banking litigation. So dia memang ada banyak practice areas yang you boleh venture into. And of course kalau you go to a bigger firm, you apart from buat litigation, you boleh try out corporate. You boleh try out IP, you boleh try out competition, you boleh try out TMT. Sekarang ni era digital, ada ramai orang yang memang buat TMT punya area specialization, like memang very niche. Even my area, competition law, is actually very, very niche. So, bila masa pupillage tu, you just try. Kadang-kadang you masuk masa you first day nak start pupillage tu, because I'm also part of the recruitment committee untuk Shuklin, bila ada pupils baru, bila kita nak interview, kita akan tanya dia, okay, what will be your preferred areas, and mostly sama ada dua je lah, sama ada litigation atau corporate. Padahal banyak lagi areas yang you boleh explore. So maybe when you first enter into the firm on your first day of pupillage, you dah set your mind, I want to do litigation. But it could be after 3 or 4 months down the road, you tried out litigation and then you decide, oh no, that's it lah, I am not really into this thing, And it turns out you are actually very much into corporate. You will be very surprised. Because when I first buat I punya pupillage pun, I told myself I wanted to do corporate, purely corporate. I thought on, probably venturing into M&A. Lepas tu bila dah a few months, I fikir, actually litigation ni memang very interesting, and then I changed my ni lah. Lepas tu ended up masa I habis pupillage, I was retained in the firm. I buat IP. So memang sebenarnya berubah-ubah. That's why my tip would be, walaupun it can be quite a very tough period to endure throughout the 9 months, tapi try out as many practice areas as possible. Then you will be able to find out which areas yang you sebenarnya berminat. So masa tu lah you boleh try kan, because kalau you dah start dah jadi legal associate, chances are you are going to specialize into one particular area lah. Because kalau you dah buat litigation, because in our legal practice ni, it goes by seniority, you know. Kalau kata you dah kerja 3 tahun, 4 tahun jadi litigation lawyer, and then suddenly you decide nak buat corporate, you punya 3-4 tahun punya experience tu maybe orang tak consider, because you're going to start afresh kan, because you don't know so much about corporate. So masa pupillage tu lah yang patutnya you just try. So 9 bulan tu sebenarnya sekejap je, tiba-tiba wah dah habis dah, dan nak kena buat filing dah. Tapi masa tu sebenarnya masa untuk you betul-betul kena belajar banyak benda.
Okay Dania, saya nak tanya bila Dania cerita pasal the experience of doing chambering and everything tadi, and we know that when you do BLS and then 1 year of LLB, right? So during that LLB punya tu quite macam you kata busy and everything kan, like you are working lah, macam seolah-olah you dah as a lawyer kan.
Yes.
Do you think that kind of experience can help you so much in doing your chambering, your pupillage?
As I said, it was very, very useful. It was very, very useful because we, during LLB, we operated like a firm. Memanglah it's a mini firm, but you have been assigned to work on files as if they are actual files, you know. Macam we had conveyancing punya subject. Dan memang kita kena prepare lah, kita kena prepare SPA, and then kita kena kira fees as per SRO. So benda-benda tu sebenarnya membantu, because bila you buat chambering, you tak adalah loss sangat, because kadang-kadang expectation lawyers are quite high, I must say, because especially when you have to deal with partners, you know, certain very experienced lawyers, because they of course they do understand that you are just pupils, tapi expectation dia naturally dia akan fikir you need to come out and produce good deliverables lah. So dia akan expect you would have certain knowledge, dan bila you dah nampak macam you macam dah familiar dah dengan files tu semua, I think it shows a very good impression lah. It reflects on you lah, kata, because you memang tahu kan, as compared to other students yang maybe macam memang lost lah, tak tahu, ni first time tengok, SPA macam ni, so this is how you draw, you actually draft a contract, because you need to know what will be the salient terms and stuff kan. So I rasa LLB tu was really, really useful untuk I lah.
Okay, untuk Aman nanti mungkin masa dia tahun keempat lah, silibus dia akan lebih kurang sama macam LLB yang dilalui oleh Dania tu. Okay Dania, satu lagi sebelum saya beralih pada Aman semula. Masa pupillage tu kan, masa read-in chamber tu, mestilah ada kawan-kawan daripada universiti lain yang sama-sama dengan kita, betul? Ada tak perbezaan lah pada waktu tu SA UiTM graduates kan dengan universiti lain lah? Ada tak? Atau macam nampak kelebihan tak? Macam you jadi macam saya graduate UiTM compared to others university ya.
Okay, saya boleh cakap based on pengalaman saya and during my time lah. As I said, what sets us apart masa tu was mainly because of LLB tu, because LLB tu is purely practical kan, so it's not just about theories lah. Sebab kalau compare kita dengan foreign graduates pun, diorang memang belajar mostly belajar UK laws, ataupun ada certain yang memang graduated from Australian universities ke. Tapi of course bila kita belajar dekat ITM, you have to study local laws. So this is another good advantage lah, technically an advantage untuk UiTM grads. Tapi kalau kita compare from UiTM with another local universities, I would say because kita ada English as our main medium, that's really useful. That's one. And then because of our syllabus I think is very much tailored to cater to the legal landscape in Malaysia. So apa yang ada dalam syllabus tu, of course I tak boleh ingat semua, tapi yang the compulsory subjects tu I rasa kebanyakan universiti dekat Malaysia memang offer benda yang sama, tapi the elective subjects tu, because kita masa my time kita ada IP, kita ada insurance, international trade. So semua tu I rasa memang bagus lah. I rasa it was very useful untuk students UiTM. And again LLB tu lah, I rasa LLB tu really set us apart.
Okay, thank you Dania. Okay, now Aman. This is the question I think suit you. Okay, the question from Zahratul Husna. Okay, because I know that you are actually what we call very active, okay, during your Asasi also, okay, joining this debate and also UN things and whatever it is, okay. Is there any difference between mooting and also debate? If you have any experience with mooting, maybe. I think second year dah ada mooting kan, during the first year pun dah ada mooting dekat Asasi, dekat degree sekarang kan. So is there any difference between mooting and also debating?
All right, thank you Zahratul Husna for the question. The difference between mooting and debating, as far as it's concerned, is that debating is more about persuading the audience, because by definition, debating is a game. It's like a sport of persuasion. So basically, like, there's two kinds of debating. There's the British parliamentary debate and I can't remember the other one, but there's going to be the government and the opposition. And there's going to be a judge and there's going to be a panelist, and you at the same time you have to persuade the judges as well as the audience with your arguments. And most of the time, debating involves a lot of facts, statistics, and sometimes emotional rhetorics. So for example, if you sometimes there are certain debaters who use a lot of the way they talk is very rhetorical. Sometimes they talk is very emotional, so they are able to attract the attention of the judges as well as the audience. However, for mooting does not involve any emotions. It does not involve any sentiments or rhetorics. Mooting is similar to a court trial, a proceeding. So mooting, there's going to be the applicants and the defendant, or it depends on the type of court. For example, court of appeal, you have the appellant and respondent. So in mooting, there's going to be the two counsels, and it's for it's for either the counsel to persuade the judges based on their logical and rational legal basis. It needs to be yes, based on those rational and logical arguments, and it cannot be like based on like random ranting or raise your voice, because in mooting as compared to debating, mooting has more decorum. It has more, how do I say this? You need to be more maintain that decorum, that form of decorum. You need to like mind the way you speak, the way you have to maintain your body language, because in mooting it's slightly more serious. You don't have that freedom as much as debating. So mooting is really strict. It's like you're really inside a court. So yeah, I think those are the main differences between mooting and debating. Debating, you can talk on so many like ranges of topics or current issues, but mooting, it is based on like current issues, but you have to talk about it in a very restricted and legal and straightforward sense, something like that. It cannot become like very philosophical or abstract, unlike debating. So I think those are the main differences.
All right. Thank you for the clear explanation from you, Aman. Okay. Dania, I think this will be the last question. Tapi sebelum tu, saya nak ingatkan kepada viewer kita, jangan lupa untuk hashtag UiTM Perform 2021, hashtag UiTM First. Okay, tadi Dania ada explain kan pasal flexibility untuk switching the field tadi tu. Right? So, macam mana flexibility itu berlaku sebenarnya?
Masa dah start practice ke?
Yes.
It depends lah, because kadang-kadang based on my experience, macam I sendiri, when I first started off with IP, but then I went back to do competition law, which is what I'm doing right now lah. So I rasa it depends on your interest lah. Kadang-kadang yes, you ada interest in certain areas of law and then you nak practice in that area lah, which makes sense. Tapi it could also be that after a while you rasa macam you should venture into something else. Maybe ada setengah orang kata litigation can be quite taxing, jadi you nak buat corporate pula. So it depends on your interest and also kesesuaian masa tu. It could also be because I've encountered a number of my ex-colleagues yang jump into another area because opportunities just happen to come, at the point of time. Yang tiba-tiba dia dapat offer, okay, this partner cakap, dia kata I need to set up this new department. What if I rope you in? Would you be, happy to take on this thing lah? And then dia buat, and then dia just rasa, okay, I need to build up this practice area, and then they just continue. So it depends very much on banyak, I will say banyak variables, banyak factors yang boleh memainkan peranan untuk orang nak switch from one area to another.
Okay, thank you, Dania. I think we come to the end of our discussion today, guys. Okay, but then before we end, okay, Aman, let's say, okay, you've been given an opportunity, right, to promote law faculty to our asasiswa, right, and also to others, maybe STPM levels ke, to pursue study in law in UiTM. So what would you say?
Okay. The way that I could promote UiTM Shalom law faculty, maybe I don't want to. Maybe first and foremost, I just like to admit that I make make YouTube videos. So when I make YouTube videos, most of the time I promote and share about my life and my experiences studying law. So I made countless of videos. I made videos about Model United Nations. I made videos about mooting. I've made videos about my study methods. I made videos about me sharing my notes and the books that you'll be needing when you want to study in degree. Because when I was younger, when the first time that I ever wanted to enter foundation and degree, it's really hard for me to have a senior, have someone to rely on. I don't have a brother. I don't have an older sister like everyone else, where they can inherit and just get the books from their brothers and sisters. I don't have anybody like that in my life, and I'm the first person in my family to do so. So I thought that maybe I can be the big brother, be the senpai for all the juniors out there, and help them when they want to prepare themselves to enter foundation or degree. So if you guys really want, have the more help from me, you want more advice, you guys can visit my YouTube channel. I share the books. I share my notes on Google Drive on my YouTube channel. I share how to moot, how to go for an interview. I share about how to do when my experience in Model United Nations. And apart from that, if you guys were to do assignments or have any, or were like imagining about some legal issues or stuff, I also write articles on my blogspot. So if you guys are really interested in knowing more about studying law, you want to know more about the life in UiTM Sha'alam and Foundation DENGKIL, I think that's one of the way for me to promote my university to everyone. And I'll just like to close this answer with that. When you enter into degree, there's going to be more and more opportunities for everyone to explore and experience, because in law faculty, in UiTM degree, there's going to be the ALSA club, there's going to be the Mooting club, there's going to be the international law club, there's going to be the LEC, I think LEX is for law students participating in sports representing the law faculty. There's going to be the entrepreneur law faculty. There's also this, I think it's still ALSA. You guys can join that club. You're going to be having, like, every semester is going to be wine and cheese, I think, where there's going to be a very large end party for all law students to celebrate ending the semester. You can join ALSA, and you can, like, I think every semester, I'm not sure, but ALSA, they have this sort of play. Like, law students, they do a lot of acting. So every semester, they're going to be acting in front of all the students in UiTM Alam. So they're going to do some sort of like a drama in front of so many students inside this really, really huge theater. So so think about, I think you guys need to, like, think about and plan about what you want to do, and think and write all of the opportunities that you guys can take when you enter into degree life, because you guys might not know that you might have a lot of networking, you might meet a lot of new people, you improve your soft skills when you eventually embark into in pupillage and eventually and entering into a law firm, similar to Puan Dania Ahmad. So I think that's the way for me to promote my faculty and law in general.
Okay. Uh, okay, Aman. What is the biggest thing you found useful in what you are doing today?
The thing that I feel like I've made
As Asasi, you are Asasi before, right? Okay, so what is the biggest thing that you found useful in what you are doing right now today?
right. I think the most useful thing that I've done in my life is that I think that the ultimate thing that I feel that I've been doing useful for the past 2 decades of my life is that even though I'm not much of a academic pundit or an expert, but all I know that my religion and the morals and what society taught me is that I think that we need to disseminate knowledge and share what we've learned with everyone else, because I think we need to pass on and allow people to inherit what you've learned, because we need to have a society. We need to have this sort of a society that continuously learn new things and improve their intellectuality, because a better society, a society that's not, I won't say perfect, but a society that's continuously and perpetually developing is a society that shares knowledge and disseminates wisdom with other people. And so even though at the same time, while I'm improving myself, I think it's another moral obligation, a responsibility for not just me, but everyone here. I think everyone here has the ability. Everyone watching this live video is capable and are future leaders and is able to become somebody in the future. So always remind yourself and always remind that you are something. You are capable. You are born in this world with a purpose. In times I feel like I kind of question myself. Why am I even here? Why do I even exist? But there's something more than meets the eye. There's something behind the curtains that you really never know what's going to happen in life. So I think that all of us, I think we need to understand and contemplate that the future, there are so many possibilities, so many variables, and just keep on believing that you keep on doing what you do, have faith in yourself, and be around people, positive-minded people. Don't be around with toxic people. Don't be like just keep on helping other people, keep sharing ideas. And I think that's the most useful and most beneficial thing that one person in 7 or 8 billion people in the world can do for other people, is that to help other people and just share positivity. So I think that's one useful thing that I've learned.
Okay. Aman, I think you forgot to share your channel or maybe your IG. They are waiting for your channel and also IG.
Where should I type it? Anywhere?
Yeah.
Uh,
So can you can, I think you can type it in
in chat box.
in the chat box. Okay.
Ah.
So I will let the admin to disseminate it to the audience later. Okay. In the meantime, Dania. Alright. So ada tak kata-kata ataupun kita dah towards the end ni kan, ada tak tips ke ataupun apa-apa yang Dania nak share dengan pelajar asasi kita pada malam ni?
Okay, saya rasa apa yang penting sekali yang saya just nak highlight ialah apa-apa pun tak kisahlah pointer you baik ke, pointer you tak berapa baik ke, tapi saya rasa apa yang paling penting ialah have a good attitude. Have the right attitude, be kind, be nice to people. Sebab saya selalu rasa I've met a lot of people so far, and I selalu rasa you can be the smartest lawyer, but then if you are not being nice to other people, I think it really reflects on you lah. So kalau kata pun kadang-kadang, because I've seen a lot of people I've seen a lot of lawyers yang sebenarnya knowledge wise maybe tak berapa, definitely not expert punya level, tapi because they are baik, dia orang yang baik, it makes things easier for them. Because kadang-kadang bila kita practice, for example, you need to deal with a lot of people, ya. Bukan you seorang-seorang saja you nak kerja. So kadang-kadang bila you ada parties, or you ada client you, and then kalau you baik, normally insyaAllah jalan tu sangat mudah. Client pun baik dengan you, the other side yang you are dealing with pun akan baiklah. So segala urusan you akan jadi mudah. So itu lebih penting lah bagi saya. And another thing yang I nak highlight would be jangan takut untuk apply ke big firms, because I based from my experience lah, as part of one of the recruitment committee members, I nampak in terms of number of applications yang masuk, technically very very low. Relatively low lah as compared to foreign graduates. Diorang lebih keen untuk apply to big firms. Tapi local graduates, not only UiTM, tapi generally-nya semualah, agak kurang number applications tu untuk masuk, untuk buat pupillage dekat big firms. So saya rasa patutnya kita kena ubah sedikit kita punya perception. Memang ada generalization, kalau you masuk big firms susah you nak survive, especially bila you daripada UiTM, you akan rasa inferior sikit. Tapi I think we need to change that perception, because sebenarnya kita boleh je, kita okay je. Budak-budak UiTM, budak-budak universiti lain pun semua, saya rasa okay je. Dia punya quality of work tu quite remarkable lah, I would say. Tak adalah macam teruk ke apa, tak. So sepatutnya kena ubah mentality yang masuk big firms tak boleh because orang semua foreign grads, semua tu. Sebab sebenarnya to be banyak je alumni UiTM. In fact daripada batch saya sendiri, kita ada partners. My husband sendiri was to be he was a partner dekat Screen, tapi now dia in-house. And then I have a few classmates, my classmates dulu, seorang partner dekat Zurafik, seorang partner dekat Shern, I myself dekat Shuklin, and then ada yang memang partner dekat ada big firms yang boutique, litigation punya boutique firms. So saya rasa sebenarnya mentality yang kata budak UiTM tak boleh pergi jauh tu, kita kena buang jauh-jauh lah. So beranikan diri, because exposure tu would be different. Kalau you pergi firm kecil ke firm besar ke, dia different ball game lah. You pergi ke firm besar ada pros and cons dia, you pergi firm kecil pun ada pros and cons. Tapi mana-mana pun you need to come with the right attitude. You mesti insyaAllah boleh pergi jauh. Okay? Jangan takut.
Okey, tengok tu Puan Dana dah share dah banyak peluang ni. Ada offer tu kan, silalah mohon lepas ni buat chambering di big firm ni. Okey Dania, kalau Dania boleh share mungkin Dania punya media sosial punya apa kita kata lah IG ke Facebook ke, mungkin ada student kita nanti yang nak contact dengan Dania ke?
IG saya memang private.
Okay.
Sorry, IG saya private and followers pun tak ramai. Tak adalah macam Aman ya. Aman dia dah macam
ataupun kita kata firm ke kan, boleh follow firm punya FB ke apa kan.
Kita ada LinkedIn. Kalau LinkedIn saya ada LinkedIn account, ada nama Dania Ahmad. Of course ada Syuklin and Book Malaysia punya account yang you boleh follow. There's another Syuklin and Book which is based in Singapore, tapi the one that kalau yang you nak tahu pasal update pasal firm saya, dan will be Syuklin and Book Malaysia lah. So feel free untuk follow lah, untuk connect.
Okay. Baiklah, terima kasih di atas penerangan yang sangat bermanfaat yang diberikan oleh kedua-dua alumni kita ni ya. Terima kasih Aman, terima kasih Puan Dania. Saya harap perkongsian pada hari ini, malam ini akan memberikan manfaat kepada pelajar-pelajar kita dan juga kepada yang mendengar pada malam ini. Baiklah, saya sekali lagi mengucapkan terima kasih kepada kita punya alumni. Aman, terima kasih banyak Aman. Dania, thank you very much. Okay, ya, mini love. Okay, jangan lupa hashtag tadi, hashtag jangan lupa. Okay, dan terima kasih juga kepada pendengar setia kita yang telah menjadikan kita trending di Malaysia. Cewah kan, sebaris dengan anugerah juara lagu katanya. Okay, sebelum saya nak mengakhiri majlis ni, saya nak ingatkan kepada semua yang hadir pada hari ini, malam ini, terutamanya kepada pelajar-pelajar asasi ya, untuk mengesahkan kehadiran anda dengan mengimbas QR code yang tertera dengan diberikan dan ini adalah bertujuan untuk mendapatkan markah koko lah. Aman biasa tak dengan markah koko ni Aman? Dania dia tak biasa sebab dia zaman dinosaur, walaupun dia dinosaur tapi Dania zaman dinosaur Okay. Okay, saya juga bersati sekiranya para peserta dapat meluangkan masa untuk mengisi borang maklum balas Festival UiTM Perform 2021 di pautan YouTube ataupun Facebook. Okay, yang mengikuti di YouTube, jadi boleh imbas QR code tu. Sekiranya anda telah mengisi, saya ucapkan terima kasih kerana feedback daripada anda tu amatlah penting untuk kami pada masa akan datang. Okay, dan jangan lupa untuk kongsikan pengalaman menarik anda. Untuk sesi kita pada malam ini, alumni bersama program Sembang Santai bersama alumni UiTM Asasi. Allahu Akbar, tersasul lah tengah-tengah malam ni kan. Okay, untuk anda kongsikan pengalaman anda, okay, di program Sembang Santai bersama alumni Undang-Undang. Macam tu di laman Twitter kan, Instagram ke Facebook, dan jangan lupa sekali lagi untuk hashtag UiTM Perform 2021, hashtag UiTM First. Okay, jadi itu saja untuk malam ini. Okay, saya akhiri dengan ucapan wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, terima kasih. Thank you Aman, thank you Dania. Assalamualaikum.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you.